we are going to be making easy holiday recipes. So our lineup is going to include three recipes. It's going to be easy macaroons, um, chocolate peanut butter microwavable pan squares, and then cookie pudding, or as my family likes to call it, mushy cookie pudding. So for our first recipe, we are going to be making easy macaroons. So there's a difference between macarons, which is usually the cute little sandwich treats, and then there's the coconut macaroons, which is the kind of chocolate dipped coconut treats. So that's what we'll be making. So for this, we are going to need one 14-ounce bag of sweetened flaken coconuts. We're going to need one 14-ounce sweetened condensed milk can. Then we're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, microwavable chocolate or chocolate chips, and then fun sprinkles of any kind that you want. So to begin, we're going to take in a large bowl our coconut flakes, our sweetened condensed milk, and our 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Then we are going to stir this all together with a spatula until everything is fully combined. And then we're going to have a nice mixed together mixture. And it should come together pretty well. Um, and so you just want to make sure that you have no bits of coconut, vanilla extract, or sweetened condensed milk. And you just want everything fully combined. So now that we got our mixture, we're going to take some baking sheets lined with parchment paper. And this is the fun part. And we're going to shape these into balls. Now you can use a tablespoon measurement, a spoon, or your hand, any one of those. And all you want to do is shape them into roundish balls. Now I'm going to take around a tablespoon and a half of the mixture, and I'm going to try my best to shape it. And none of them are going to look perfect or pretty, so it's good just to have fun with it. And then here's my first one. And then we're going to keep doing this until we have all of our mixture or enough of our mixture where we can fill a few baking sheets. Now, while we're doing this, you can get your oven preheated to 350 degrees because we will be baking these. And these will bake for around 15 to 18 minutes.
The recipes were sent out this morning. Please let us know if you did not receive them. Oh, and about how many of these does this recipe make?
These make around 40 macaroons.
Ooh, wow.
I
That
know.
sounds awesome.
These are good party treats. And then once we get all of these done, we're going to pop these in the oven. And after they're done baking, we're going to let them cool for around 5 to 10-ish minutes, just so they're easy to work with and touch. Then we're going to melt down our chocolate, our meltable chocolate, and we're going to dip the bottoms or the top, whatever you like, how much chocolate you want. And we're going to let them chill inside the fridge for another 10 minutes and then decorate them, and then we can eat them. And I really love this recipe because it's really easy, really simple, and they taste amazing.
If you have any questions for Owen, feel free to unmute and go ahead and ask your questions while he's preparing this delicious treat. Oh, and I wish we could all come over there and try them. They look
I know.
fantastic.
And if you guys don't have any questions, feel free to unmute and tell me what your favorite treat is and what you like making. And Karen, what's your favorite food to make or treat?
For me, my favorite treat to make are baked goods, but actually through the years, I don't like baking that much because there's too much to clean up afterwards. So I guess chocolate chip cookies are still easy enough and don't make a big mess. So I don't mind baking those at all. Who has a favorite item they'd like to make?
Good morning. This is Marcia Herrick. My favorite treat is actually the one that you are making. So I'm really happy to see that.
That's amazing. I'm so happy. Um, I really love making these, and I love getting them at little bake shops and eating them because they're just so good.
What is
Yeah,
your
the
what is
good
your
things.
favorite treat that you like to make?
Kind of like Karen, I love making chocolate chip cookies just because there's a lot of different variations that you can make them with, and sometimes you really just want a really easy and simple treat to make. So those are
Um,
my favorite. And what do you like to make?
I like to make macaroons.
That's amazing.
And the good thing is that it's gluten-free, right?
Yes, you can get recipes that are gluten-free. And this is an eggless recipe, so this one does not use egg whites. So this is just an easy three ingredient recipe.
Yeah, I have a problem with gluten. My husband is allergic, so I am always looking for recipes that has no gluten. So this one is perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course. And if you're looking for gluten-free recipes, always feel free to check out the library. They have amazing books with a lot of amazing cooking books that have a lot of good recipes, and a lot of them have gluten-free or any type of allergy that you may have.
Yeah, I'll stop by. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so now that we have our wonderful macaroons on our baking sheets, like I said before, we're going to pop these in our preheated 350-degree oven for around 15 to 18 minutes. And while these are baking, we're going to get ready for our next recipe. And while I'm setting up for our next recipe, the recipe I will be making is cookie pudding, or as my family likes to call it, mushy cookie pudding. And my grandma made this recipe a whole bunch and liked to bring it to family gatherings. And it's a really delicious and really, really simple dessert. And I have a sample here that we will be making. This is what mushy cookie pudding should turn out. Mushy cookie pudding is basically layers of our vanilla wafers and a pudding of our choice. And since it's holiday themed, I got some pumpkin spice pudding. We'll see how good this tastes. Haven't tried it out yet, but we'll see. And then to decorate, I have some classic sprinkles, and I got these fun leaf-shaped sprinkles that I'll be decorating with. And this recipe has a lot of different variations. You can make these with almost anything. You can make them with different types of vanilla wafers. You can make them with Oreos and graham crackers. Those are the best ones. So any variation that you want to make of this dish. And it's really simple, really easy, and it's very customizable. So with that, we are going to be making this recipe while our macaroons bake in the oven. So to begin, we're going to have two small boxes of a pudding of our choice. I have Jello pudding, pumpkin spice, and it has to be instant. And then we have 2.5 cups of milk, and then vanilla wafers. And then we have our sprinkles. And then we're going to have a deep loaf pan that we're going to use to put our cookie pudding into. So with that, we're going to start by making our pudding. So we're going to have with us a large bowl and a whisk. And we're going to follow the instructions on the pudding. We're going to use 2 boxes. And the way that my family likes to make this is with a little less milk. So we're going to pour in our powder.
Oh, and how many ounces are those boxes?
These boxes, let's see if I can see it. They are 3.4 ounces.
Okay, so 2 of those. All right, thank you.
Of course. And then we're going to start by pouring in our 2.5 cups of milk. Like I said before, a little less milk, so you want a little bit left at the bottom of our container. And following our directions on our instant pudding, we're going to whisk this for around 1 to 2 minutes, just until it starts to thicken and it becomes homogeneous. So we're going to be whisking for around 1 to 2 minutes. And while I'm whisking, I'll tell you a little bit more about the mushy cookie pudding. And for this one, we're going to stick with 1 pudding. But you can do multiple different puddings, and you can do a whole bunch of different themes with it. It's a lot of fun to make, and it's really easy. And it's great to bring to fun parties, especially with family.
What is your most favorite pudding?
My favorite pudding? I remember we went to the Jello Museum one time for a trip, and that was a very fun experience. And I remember getting this strawberry lemonade flavored Jello. It was very bizarre, but it did taste pretty good. So that's a pretty bizarre flavor that I like.
Oh,
And what flavor pudding do you like?
I didn't eat any pudding before.
Oh, well, I recommend making this recipe so you can try it out for your first time.
Okay.
So now that we have our pudding coming together, it should thicken up, but it shouldn't be too thick. It should just be around, don't know what you call this, but medium thick. So we're going to take our pan that we're going to put our mushy cookie pudding into. And what we're going to do is that we're going to start out with a layer of our wafers, graham crackers, or Oreos, whatever you want to try it out with. I'm sticking with classic vanilla wafers. And this recipe is all about layers. So you want to do a good layer at the bottom, and then whatever layer you want to finish it off at the top. I always love finishing off the top layer with wafers. I prefer it. My mom likes to finish off with pudding. But for this recipe, we're going to be ending it off with pudding so we can put a whole bunch of decorations on it. And so now that we got our first layer down of our cookies or our wafers, we're going to pour in our pudding mixture. And we're going to try to aim for even layers. It can't be helped, but we're going to try to. So now that we got our first layer down, we are then going to put, or we're going to spread it out so it's an even layer. So have our pudding, and we're going to spread it out. And it should be big enough of a layer to cover the wafers. And this recipe is a little bit more fall themed, but if you want to aim for more holiday themed, you could do this with peppermint. You can add in peppermint extract or peppermint pieces, whatever you want to add. And I'm going to do another layer of wafers. Then another layer of pudding. And once we get this all finished, I know that we want to eat it in a hurry, but we're going to allow this to sit overnight, just until in the fridge overnight, just until this kind of sits and becomes kind of a true pudding, because this is kind of just like us mixing it. I know it says instant, but we kind of want our cookies to mush, which is kind of the point of mushy cookie pudding. Another layer of our wafers. And while we're at it, what is your guys' favorite desserts to eat at parties?
Does
I am a
anyone have a favorite dessert they like to share?
I like put Jello.
That's amazing.
I like macaroons.
It's a good recipe.
I am a fan of chocolate, so anything that takes chocolate is good for me.
Yes, I love chocolate.
I also like brownies.
Brownies are amazing.
I once ate brownies made with black beans. Did you ever taste that. It was not bad. It was actually interesting. It was good.
That's a really good recipe. There's a lot of easy ways to hide vegetables, beans, basically anything inside brownies just because you can cover it up with a lot of chocolate flavor. So those
Mm-hmm.
flavors are always interesting and unique.
Yeah, and very healthy.
Yes. Now, as we get our final layer on our mushy cookie pudding, we're gonna finish this off by decorating it. So I got my wonderful sprinkles here, and I'm gonna decorate them. I'm gonna start with a red sprinkle. And then I'm gonna take our wonderful fall theme sprinkles, and I'm gonna drizzle these on top. And here's our final result. So we're gonna have this sit in the fridge overnight, just until everything sets and we get that wonderful mushy cookie pudding. And so with this recipe done, we're gonna move on to our final recipe before we finish off our macaroons. And so now we are going to be moving on to our chocolate peanut butter microwavable treats. So this recipe is a lot of fun because we're kind of going back to a classic and we're going to be using the microwave. So with me, I have all my ingredients here. If I can get them all in frame. There. So for this recipe, you will need 1 8-ounce jar of natural peanut butter or peanut butter, any kind of peanut butter, and then 1 cup of butter, and then 1 pound of confectioner sugar. I know it sounds like a lot, but this is gonna kind of, it's gonna look a lot better, and it's supposed to add a lot of our sugar into our peanut butter. And then we're gonna add our 1 12-ounce package of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And so to begin, we're gonna have our peanut butter and our butter, and we're gonna melt this down in the microwave. And we're gonna have this on high for 2 minutes. And we just wanna make sure that our peanut butter and our butter is fully melted. And then we'll blend this together. So we're gonna put this in the microwave on high for 2 minutes. And then after that is done melting, we're going to blend those together. Then we're going to add in our powdered sugar, and then we're going to put this into increments just so we don't get powdered sugar everywhere. And we're going to mix all of it until it comes together. And then we're going to add in our chocolate chips, and then we're going to microwave again on high for 1.5 minutes, and then checking every 30 seconds just to make sure our chocolate chips don't burn. And then we'll put this in the refrigerator.
So, Owen, with all these treats you're making today, are you having a party tonight?
Sadly, no party tonight, but I am gonna feed all of this to my family, including my brother.
I'm sure they enjoy having you around just to make all those goodies for them.
Yes. And then while our peanut butter mixture is going, what are your guys' favorite peanut butter treats to make?
I don't make them, but peanut butter cookies are delicious.
Those are really good.
I don't make peanut butter cookies either, but I like them.
I love those. So now that our peanut butter mixture is done in the microwave, we're gonna take it out. And then we're gonna blend this together. And I'm gonna use one of my mini whisks. So I really love these mini whisks. I am gonna talk about these, but I really love these. These are a lot of fun to use. They're not that expensive, and they're really good at stirring, blending, making anything in small increments. And I love using these for hot chocolate and tea.
What is your most favorite treat and one of those three you made?
If I had to go by my favorite, family favorite, I would have to say is the mushy cookie pudding. But my favorite out of all of these, I want to say, are the macaroons. I just really love the coconut taste.
Oh.
So now that we have our peanut butter mixture all blended, we are going to add in our powdered sugar. And this is a very messy process, so we're going to be careful and not try to make a huge mess. It's always good to make a mess in the kitchen, but try not to destroy the kitchen. Okay. Then we're going to add in peanut butter mixture. I'm going to use a spatula for this. And we're just going to do kind of a folding technique. We're going to scoop the bottom and then bring it up to the top. Now I'm going to let my peanut butter mixture cool just for a few seconds, just so you don't burn yourself. And make sure you use oven mitts when getting this out of the microwave, because the mixture is still hot. And this should.
I'm sorry, Owen, go ahead.
It's quite all right. But basically all we're aiming for is to get this to kind of look like chocolate chip cookie dough mixture.
That sounds delicious. I like crunchy peanut butter. How's the recipe with crunchy peanut butter? Does that work?
Oh, that works just as well. Is very good with crunchy peanut butter. Um,
Terrific.
I would recommend if you're going to do crunchy peanut butter to do it on smaller increments, just so you don't lose kind of the crunchiness and you don't ruin the nuts in the peanut butter.
Okay.
So now that we got our mixture almost made or put together, I should say, we're going to put this back into our dish and we're going to press it down so it's kind of like a base layer in in our in our bars. And then we're going to use some Pam cooking spray and we're going to just grease the sides and the bottom just so we can get these out at the end. So I'm going to move my pan over and then we're going to press this down into our pan. There we go. And we're going to press this down.
What's the recipe called again?
This recipe is called chocolate peanut butter microwavable treat, or these can also be called chocolate peanut butter bars. So now that we got our mixture pressed into the bottom, we are going to place our chocolate chips in our microwavable dish to melt on 1.5 minutes, and then checking every 30 seconds just to make sure the chocolate chips don't burn. And then we're gonna have this cool in the refrigerator for around an hour if you want to do overnight too. So we're gonna melt our chocolate chips.
All of these recipes. How about the rest of you?
I do too.
I hope it turns out great for both of us, Georgia. While Chef Owen is busy with melting the chocolate chips, I also want to mention that he does have YouTube videos of more treats that he makes, and you can find those by going to the Schaumburg Public Library website.
Hello everyone, I am back from the microwave adventures. I have my chocolate chips here. I'm gonna mix these. And while I'm gonna spread this chocolate chip mixture onto our peanut butter bars, Karen, if you want to talk about any upcoming programs at the library.
Thank you, Owen. We do have a special story time coming in December, a winter elf story time. And we have other fabulous programs for the month of December for the grown-ups. We have the Illinois Secretary of State Department of Motor Vehicles will be here, and you can renew your driver's license as long as you don't need. You can also get the stickers for your license plates, and they do accept credit card or checks. And you can find more information about our programs by going to our website, aurorapubliclibrary.org.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. So now that we have our chocolate on our peanut butter bars, we're gonna spread it out until there's a layer on top. And then we're gonna put it into the fridge after. But before we do that, I am gonna add some sprinkles on top of this. You always gotta add sprinkles. There's always gotta be a time for it. So now that we have our layer on top of our peanut butter, let's pick out some sprinkles. So I'm gonna use these thicker sprinkles. And I'm gonna sprinkle these on top. And so now that we have this done, we're gonna put this into the fridge for around an hour or until it's set and it's cool, hardened. So I'm gonna put this into the refrigerator. So now that we have finished that recipe, we're going to take out our macaroons and we're going to finish the macaroons before we finish our wonderful live stream. So I'm going to have my macaroons.
But I'm not ready for any real snow, are you?
Oh no, not yet. It's a little bit too early for all that snow.
I agree.
So now that we have our macaroons out of the oven, I'm going to melt down our chocolate and then we're going to dip our macaroons into the chocolate, put some sprinkles on them, and then we're going to present all of our final dishes. So when we melt down this chocolate, same thing as we did for the chocolate chips.
Oh, those turned out great.
I know. They did get a little toasted in the oven, but they do look amazing.
They
Um,
do.
so a little chocolate will fix everything.
It's good for fixing everything.
Exactly. Now I know it's a little early, before the holidays begin, but who still has Halloween candy left over?
I'm sorry. Oh, and I didn't hear you. What was the question?
Who has Halloween candy left over?
That
I have
worked
lots.
too. You have some
I
left
have,
over too?
I have lots of leftover candy.
Me too.
Same.
So now that we have our chocolate melted down, we are going to begin to dip our macaroons into our chocolate. And for this, you can get more baking sheets and you can line them with wax paper. But parchment paper and wax paper work the same. It's just that wax paper cannot be put into the oven, only parchment paper can. So I'm just going to reuse the same baking sheets that I put the macarons on to bake, because all we're going to do is put these into the fridge. So now that we have our chocolate melted, I'm going to begin to dip our macaroons. So I'm going to dip the bottom of these, and this is kind of a traditional way of doing macaroons, is to dip the bottom in chocolate. And not every recipe that everyone's going to make is going to come out Pinterest worthy. So as long as they taste good, that's all that really matters when making recipes. And then as we're finishing up, um, as I'm as I made all of these recipes today, if you guys were to make them, what would the one that you'd want to make the most?
I would probably make those peanut butter ones.
That's a really good recipe.
All look pretty wonderful. I think I just have to try them all, Owen. And you make it look so easy too. Thank you for that.
Of course.
I
I try
was
to pick
thinking
really
this.
easy recipes that everyone can do because we're all at different stages when we're baking or cooking. So it's always good to find the easiest recipe to start off with.
Yeah, it's hard to choose the one. They are all excellent.
So as I'm finishing dipping these in chocolate, I'm going to drizzle a little bit of chocolate over them. And you guessed it, I'm going to add some more sprinkles. I just really like sprinkles. So I'm going to drizzle on my chocolate.
Oh, and how long do you let these sit before serving them?
I would recommend putting these into the fridge for at least 5 to 10 minutes, but you can do an hour just so they're fully set and they're fully cold. But I like having my macaroons a little fresh because they just taste better, and I like having them having that warm, toasted feeling. I'm gonna add in our sprinkles.
And the sprinkles will stick because of the chocolate, right?
Yep. And if you wanted to, you could be really fancy and dip the bottom in sprinkles too. But I'm not going to be that fancy because I don't think I have enough sprinkles for all of that. So I'm just going to sprinkle all of these sprinkles on top. Now I'm going to put these in the fridge, and then we'll, if we have time, we can do some questions and answers, and then I'm going to present all our final desserts.
While Owen's setting up all those treats, did anyone have any questions about anything he made or just a question about baking in general?
And then, do you guys have any questions for me before we end our live stream?
When are you coming back?
I'm gonna try to set up another live stream program with Karen here. We'll see when we're gonna get that out. It's a maybe, we'll see. But I'm gonna keep posting YouTube videos. So yeah, we'll see.
That's good. Yeah, good job. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for attending today. Owen, again, thank you for those terrific treats. I appreciate it, and I hope we do get to see you again. So happy holidays, everybody. Enjoy all that chocolate.
Of course. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.